Thomas Erb again. Thank you so much for the private lender website and the Gold Club site.
You're welcome.
I'm getting this started and I'm very excited about it.
Good.
When these people contact me, what interest rate should I suggest a private lender?
You shouldn't. You should ask them what they think would be a rate of return that they're happy with. And here's the way we do it. It's really this simple. Once they contact you, you just call them up and see if they have any more questions. If they've listened to my CD or they've read the letter, they probably have very few, but if they do, they do. You try to answer them, and then you ask them how much they want to get out, and nothing else to do. There's no contract or anything, and then you just call them when you got a deal. And of course, don't count on them too heavily now, until they actually wire that money to your closing agent. You don't have a private lender. You just got a mouthpiece. All right. They're a private lender when money changes hands. All right.
Okay. Then he adds, I think I should get a course on this subject. Just saw it. Looks very promising. Does this course include how to broker the private money?
My private lending course does.
Okay.
Actually, if you do not have my 3-day private lending boot camp, go to ronsprivatelending.com, I think.
Yeah, or you could go to ronlegrand.com and it
Yeah.
would have all the information
Yeah.
there.
And that's an inexpensive course for you, 3-day boot camp, and the whole last day is about how to become a private lender. And if you want to broker the two, then you're going to need a broker license, a mortgage broker's license wherever you live. So you might want to check on that first, because some states are pretty onerous now to get that license.
Tom, you have to put your questions in one thing. That would be very helpful. We have 3 more on this page from him. It says,
Well, he's inquisitive.
good job. Okay. With starting a lease option with the seller, do I choose to close the title company with the purchase sales agreement and the lease agreement before I have the buyer, or do I wait actually to close until I have the buyer and we get the closing done at the title company with my seller and my buyer? Also, if I need to close with the seller before I have a buyer, does that mean I will have to do 2 closings?
Okay. Are we buying the property with a lease option,
wait.
or are we closing the purchase of it?
When starting,
Are we taking it over subject to, perhaps, or are we actually...
or should I wait? Do I
Here,
close at the title company with the purchase sales agreement?
let me read it. All right. Do I... when starting a lease option with a seller, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay.
Well, in the past, I would go ahead and lease option the property from the seller and go ahead and close on that, because I would structure it so my payment's not due for 2 or 3 months anyway. Then I'd find the lease option tenant buyer and I'd go ahead and close on that. When I say close, remember, this is not a formal closing. We're just signing a lease agreement to buy, and our tenant buyers are signing another lease agreement to buy from us. However, both of them should be done in an attorney, so it feels like a closing. I hope that's the answer. If you can get your buyer in the loop, which you can do if you let us teach you how to build a buyer's list, if you can get your buyer in the loop quickly, then you could easily do them simultaneously, which is, I think, the last half of the question.
Okay.
All right.
We have
But since I'm not giving the seller any money to lease option it from, then why not go ahead and close it whenever you can.
Okay. And then he says, I have a contract on a house to wholesale.
All right.
I had an interesting call recently. Someone asked me if they could help me sell the house. He wanted to put the contract with me to sell above what I was asking. I thought it would be a little strange, so I told the person that if he brought me the buyer or investor for the property, he can mark it up for what he wanted above my price, and we could work this out as a possible triple closing. Did I suggest the right thing?
Yeah, except you probably complicated it a little bit. What I would have said, well, you go ahead and give me an earnest money deposit of $500, and you can do what you darn well please. If you bring your buyer in and they want to pay me more, I'm okay. Just make sure I get my amount. But if he don't want to give you an earnest money deposit, he's a mouthpiece. He's hot air. He's blowing smoke, and he's a waste of your time. So I hope that answered the question. Until you get a check, you got nothing.
Good question. He says here, I'm understanding that I need to have a tenant buyer in my lease option to give me 2 checks monthly. One is for the lease rent, the other is for credit toward to help their down payment. I'm confused on how the money is treated when my buyer goes to the bank to get the loan. Am I just showing the bank deposit slips?
Good question. Good question. All right, you're going to have rent, and then you're going to have the extra down payment assistance that we call it on top of that, if the buyer is willing to pay the down payment extra, you can't force them to. So if I got $1,000 rent and they're paying me $300 extra, then you have to definitely split that up on a deposit slip. The lender wants to see that the $300 is actually toward the down payment. What they're looking for is a landlord or an owner telling them that rent is applied to the down payment when it really wasn't done that way. So I'd want to show the lender the down payment the down payment assistant agreement that I have attached to the back of my lease option agreement on your Gold Club site, and I'd want to show them deposit slips where that $300 is shown as down payment and that $1,000 is shown as rent. Plus, they're probably going to even want to see cancels of the copied checks. So I hope that's the answer to your question.
Good question.